Too. I mean, there's a lot of expectations from the organization as a whole in the LFL, right?
Yeah.
After last year, winning out in the summer split 3-2 versus K-Corp.
That's true.
And then falling maybe a tad bit short in EU Masters, still want to get back on track in their region. But looks like we are all past the pause. We are good to go for now. We'll take a look at where both junglers are going to be starting here because we are looking, at players like Tinks, who is usually active but might not be as active on the Diana, which means that Skeens, who's going to start leashless here in the top side on his blue, has a bit of an opportunity to see if he can find some tempo swings here in the early game.
Right, and I mean, with such a weak level 1, you don't want to take the risk of going for some of these early aggressive wards, so they're going to have no idea where Skeens is starting out. It's only defensive to see if the invade ends up coming through from Vitality.Bee's jungler. So, at the moment, it will be heading towards the bottom side of the map, and this is what we were highlighting, Austin, this Jinx, Lulu bot lane, and how weak it is in the early minutes, how susceptible it is to dives and the like. So will they be able to make something work here? Will they be able to just set Woolite so far behind, he'll never catch up, much like last game?
Well, so far, a lot of the early poke coming back and forth, and Vander actually able to move up with the early level 2. A little damage back there with the Mantra Q, but we'll see a lot of trading here. We expect Jessica and Jacktroll to be able to eventually get to a point where they should maybe be able to push them in if they can get the wave priority, but it is still a fight back and forth. We go back over to the mid lane, and well, these guys have been scrapping a little bit too. Low health bars, a lot of jungler attention could be called to multiple lanes in the early game, but again, you kind of need Tinks just to farm up. He doesn't want any of that early jungle attention earlier, Beatdown.
No, he really doesn't here. You can see it. Speaking of pressure, Chayak is the one getting the wave push here into Diplex, trading back and forth. Worth noting, neither mid laner actually started with that teleport. Of course, Diplex has the unsealed spellbook, so he'll be able to swap it later, and has Destiny, to be fair. But Chayak, of course, the Yasuo classic Flash Ignite in the mid lane. It is all about kill pressure here in Skeens. I can't tell if he's starting up the Raptors. Okay, I was thinking of a play being made potentially. I think he's calling that he's going to go afterwards, but a nice ward from Chayak will actually spot him out.
Yeah, that will spot it. I think there's some pings going down on the crab there as well, but based off where Skeens is going, he's going to go all the way down to his bot side, clear the Krugs, so he's still not going to be spotted, but that is going to be Tinks with a very efficient clear. Full clear is actually across the board for both of them, but Tinks is going to have at least a bit of the tempo in his favor. He's going to get back on the map, already picking up the Blasting Wand.
Yeah, and it's you see the ping coming through probably from Tinks saying, wondering where Skeens is at the moment here, and I like this. The full clear from Tinks in the recall, and then he shows up on the bottom side of the map here. Kind of anticipating that a dive may come up at around this time, but now that they see that Skeens showed on that ward, I believe, they don't have too much to worry about in that regard. And I'm a little disappointed that we aren't seeing like any hard punish onto Vander or Woolite, but still, the opportunity will probably show up soon. Speaking of opportunities, Tinks is on his way down.
Yep, here he comes. Has the back. Jacktroll might be the target, and he is. He has already used his flash. A lot of damage comes out, but not enough to be able to find lethal. That exhaust is actually doing a lot, and yeah, they turned it back around. Woolite's low.
I think Jessica
has gone in, but will not commit any further. A lot of summoners going to be blown here in the process, and it looks like mid lane also saw a gank.
Sure did. You see Chayak doesn't have the flash available, and it gives Diplex that opportunity to get a good recall off here. And that is, wow, a really interesting turn there from Jessica and Jacktroll. I mean, the poke is there and just so rampant in this Ezreal Karma bot lane. So if you're not careful and you overcommit, this is something that can happen. Now, Skeens knows he has the ability to be this aggressive just because of the recalls coming through here. And the fact that Jacktroll and Jessica, they're just beating away at this turret. They have the support of their jungle, and everything so far is going solid for Vitality.Bee.
Yeah, not too bad. Skeens actually stays on the map that entire time, pulls off a successful gank here in the mid lane. The bot lane obviously able to even respond back and get the flash out of Tinks, which is probably one of the main reasons he doesn't want to opt in for that fight. And now that you have a couple of the key summoners down between the jungler and the mid laner for the side of Misfits, that could potentially delay that wombo combo we keep kind of alluding to with the play onto Diplex. Means he's going to be a little safer. And he's still got exhaust too in case anyone wants to ravel him in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be for Chayak, I think, if that last breath ever ends up coming out here. And I mean, both mid and jungle on Misfits are getting close to that level 6 mark, so an opportunity could still be there. Maybe even a dive topside, because I see the ping coming through, from who I think is Tinks, but it might just be Nope, it's looking like he is going to back off. That would have been a little dangerous, but Shigenda isn't quite level 6, so there might have been an opening here. Interesting thing is neither team has gone for the Dragon just yet. It's just going to be Woolite and Vander using some of that priority they have to move across the map. Worth noting, though, Jack Troll is also moving around.
Yeah, it always feels really good. Your bot lane comes up, clears out some of the vision, lays some vision down, but Jack Troll not going to be able to take it away. Jessica just going to be left in the bot lane all alone, able to farm up in peace here for the time being. Top lane even for CS for the most part, Irrelevant showing a little respect because they haven't seen Skeens in a little bit, but they might end up spotting him out now as both junglers do end up clashing in the river looking for the crab, but having Diplex with the flash, with the destiny, it's basically always going to guarantee you're able to come away with any of the crabs or even any invades that you want to set up here in the jungle.
And now it's looking like Vitality.Bee might be setting up for a potential dive. They are definitely teasing, flirting with the idea. For the moment, it seems like Skeens might just want to turn back towards the Dragon. Oh, top lane.
That is going to be the showstopper. And Irrelevant basically uses Diplex as an escape. Does have to invest a flash, but gets out with his life.
Yeah, nicely played. Gets him before he can actually pull out the W. So there was no way they could stun and follow him up too. So really nicely played. And it means that, I mean, look, now he has to move back, recall, go to the mid lane as Chayak is just going to continue applying this pressure here, shoving wave after wave. Luckily, Diplex has swapped over to the TP. But for the moment, no Dragon picked up, which I think is the interesting thing. Skeens definitely had the opportunity to do so. Maybe he worried because of the TP top lane from Diplex's ultimate that he didn't have the option.
Ball lane zap comes out, play over the wall from Tinks. He does have the Moonfall, but doesn't have Flash. Vander lands the slow with the help of Pixie, but I think Tinks realizes, all right, that's going to zone me away. I have no way in to gank this bot lane from Vitality.
Yeah, they learned their lesson before with the last play and how much HP they lost in the process. So now things are just slowing down once again. Jessica and Jack Troll, very difficult to gank. So far haven't died, and because of the early pressure of Skeens, you can see that Jessica has actually gotten a decent CS lead on himself here. And he's really starting to pull ahead of Woolite. I mean, of course, Woolite is jinxed. As long as you get to that crucial 2-item mark, you'll still be in an okay spot. But setting him behind, I think, is still a big deal. Oh, Diplex. Okay.
Tinks is looking, just can't find the mark. And Skeens, I think, will be shrugged off. Does he decide to go in? Tinks is just about to have his flash up. And that Raptor camp should be his, but he's asking for assistance right now on the red buff. It's over the wall here for Skeens, and maybe he wants to turn it into a top play, but I don't know if you want to dive a set. We'll see what the plan is here.
It depends how long it takes. Haymaker was just used, but I guess it'll take too long for the wave to shove. And Skeens, buddy, you walked over a pink ward. I don't know who's gonna let him know, but either way, they fought. Yeah, I mean, if he can hear me, I hope so. But he's gonna be able to just go ahead and take the Rift Herald here. I wouldn't be. I'm surprised we're not seeing a fight really come through. Probably because Jack Troll's already on the move here. He's gonna show in that mid lane.
First neutral objective looks good, just with all the top lane priority. Still having Diplex that can move, and he has that Destiny up very soon here as well. So they could look for another play potentially on either of the side lanes. Mid lane, Chayak is going to be able to deal with this without a problem. This is more or less just to help Diplex get the shove in, getting a little low on mana, but Tinks is now here.
Oh.
No last breath comes out. The exhaust is there, but they do at least get the exhaust, and they do get the flash off of Jack Troll.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big deal. You do get both summoners off of Jack Troll, so it is going to be a little harder for you to play for this dragon, but ultimately, play doesn't come through, not the combo that we were expecting, and it's just going to be Chayak recalling now and spending some of his gold here. At the moment, Skeens did pick up the Herald, so there are a couple ways they could go about this one here. You could set up, he has to clear on the bottom side of the map, could just go for a bot lane dive, especially with Diplex, having that ultimate up and ready to go once again. If he joins in, they get the play. Vander still level 5, so no wild growth. Does mean that they can get a lot of turret plays.
Relevant walking right up, and that is the showstopper. A lot of damage, but Shigenda just going to be able to take the hook shot out. However, might have to invest the TP to come back to lane. We'll see if he decides to do it. It's a big wave stacking.
Yeah, I don't think he has a choice. And I mean, realistically, he's not going to be able to teleport anywhere else for a couple more minutes, except for a different turret. So he's just going to go ahead and commit that to the top lane so you can catch all of that farm. Overall, though, oh my God, that is a big wave.
Yeah, can't lose out on that.
No, good thing he ended up taking it. And at this point, it's interesting that we're at 11 minutes. No one's taken the dragon just yet. Neither team particularly interested in it. It's all about some of these skirmishes in around the mid lane and the top lane with how much attention with things like the Destiny and stuff like that. But for the moment, you got to imagine the bot lane play is coming through. I mean, Skeens, he's looking for that lane gang, and now because he has Herald, if they get a successful play off, even though he gets spotted.
Yeah, that minion rather does end up seeing him, but I don't think it matters. They just want to get this rift down as soon as possible. This is a lot of CS that Woolite is already currently down, and that's going to be now 4 total plates on that bot wave, as Diplex going to do a bit of zoning, making sure that he has all the information and is tracking anyone of Misfits that was looking at a rotation.
Oh, here comes Skeens going in.
All right, Tinks over the wall. Diplex will he follow? Yes, he does. Flash over the wall here. Tinks in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
the last
there's
breath
the
comes
combo.
back with the moonfall. First blood there for Shayak, but it's 2 in response. The double kill coming through for 1. It's a triple kill. Oh
my God,
is it a quadra? Shayak doesn't hit the NATO. He might be able to find another. Let's see what he does. Vander with a couple of speed ups. Jack Troll might be able to run away. And Shayak flashes forward, but 3 kills now on the mid laner of Misfits.
And there's the combo coming through from Misfits Premier. Really nicely played on. That's why every time Skeens goes in on tanks, I'm always worried on whether or not this is going to turn into a 2 versus 1. And we saw it come through. The wild growth was not enough. The damage was done, and even Jeskla wasn't able to offer a lot in terms of DPS in that skirmish here. And this is pretty much how you want these fights to be going through. You have the commitment from Diplex, who came in over the wall, and it just set up an insane play coming through from Chayak. Plenty of targets to dash through, plenty of damage for him to output.
And there it is again. Flash there. Shayak feeling himself. He hits that NATO. Jack Troll is certainly dead, done. Without a doubt. But not enough in the tank. So we'll see it. 13 minutes in. Goal lead still in favor of Vitality, and this is due to likely a lot of the gold that's been able to be built up here with Jessica, who did have a pretty muddy CS lead earlier on, but not the case anymore. But they also got a lot of turret plates down in that bot side when they dropped the Rift. So they're still going to be able to hang on to a slight gold lead here. But Misfits getting a lot of gold on their mid laner is going to make Shayak a lot more potent, and probably going to mean that Diplex wants to do a lot more roaming here once his Destiny comes back.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to be in this lane anymore. I'm not gonna lie. 3-0. Like, oh, okay, time to go. I'm just gonna try and shove as much of this wave. Oh, bot lane, is that a dive I see? Oh, let me just go ahead and pop that ultimate, because that's, oh man, it's tough. And then Tinks by extension, he's got to be feeling really good about that one, because now he can just look for the angles, and Chayak says, oh yeah, buddy, get him.
Yeah,
and then he's going to jump in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they have beautiful ways to set it up. I mean, even if he doesn't follow up on the Moonfall, I mean, you have that Lulu buff as well.
Oh my
growth,
God, you're right.
That can come through here too. So a couple of different knockups. Still feeling kind of bad for the Misfits bot lane. I know what it's like to just sit under tower and eat poke in your face and hope that your mid laner and your top laner are getting some work done, as well as your jungler, as you're just kind of suffering here. And I think now they realize, all right, well, we have Tinks on the top side. We have no priority. They have Destiny. We're going to have to give this turret up, and that might be solo gold, or should be solo gold, over to Jessica.
There it is, 14 minutes. TP's unleashed, plates have fallen, and we have taken the first dragon. Vitality.Bee are going to decide to pick up this first Cloud Drake. And, I mean, now we know what is that going to be, a 34-minute soul if they manage to stack every single one or something insane like that.
Later ones.
Yeah, so we're probably not going to see Dragon Soul come through, as that's later than the average game time here. But now at this point, Misfits are in a really strong position here. I mean, you think about how Chayak and Tinks are just getting ahead now, how much power that they have in this combo, and the fact that Woolite, despite falling behind early, has started to catch up. The assist gold certainly helps, and he's going to get to this point where the thing that happens, and I see a lot with Diana Yasuo comps, is that after the Wombo combo, there isn't much to offer. But in this draft, Woolite's playing Jinx. There's plenty of follow-up.
No, there certainly is, and we'll see a little priority just around the mid wave. Neither team really trying to take a whole lot of proactive plays and throw them into the mix. Just kind of taking this one slow, as Vitality typically do. Feels like a lot of the gameplay that we see from them is very controlled, reading the map, being in the right place at the right time, never really over-forcing. It's just the late game decisions that really come down to Vitality kind of fumbling from time to time. But finally, will have a bit of a play. It's going to be all of Misfits coming over to the Rift Field, which is going to open up for this Tier 2 to potentially take some damage or maybe even go down.
I think it's going to go down at this point. You know, you have the information that everybody is there. Shigender wisely just backing off because he knows the presence from Misfits is insane. So they're just going to steal camps on the bottom side, shove that bottom wave out. No one's going to actually go for the turret because they're not sure who ended up recalling. But ultimately, that's going to equal to a turret going down here on Misfits side as well. It's going to be their first one. Extra chunk of gold into Woolite's pocket, which we absolutely love. Just talked about how important he's going to be later on as follow-up DPS here. So this is great. It actually, nobody's there, so Shelly gets to charge onto this Tier 2 as well. This is all, I think, a very positive play for Misfits, who have really narrowed this gold lead that Vitality had to about 800, 900.
Well, we certainly have some items coming through now for us. Some of the Kraken Slayer picked up for Woolite, the shield bow, and a little additional AD here for Shayak, who has just been slowly farming up. Goal leads still in favor of Vitality, however, despite the kill differential in favor of Misfits. They're going to be up by about 1,000 in total, and we don't have any objectives on the map to fight over, so a lot of this is just going to be setting up the lane assignments, putting yourself in a position to at least force the enemy team to respond to what you're doing as Woolite shoves in the wave, and that will be now Jeskla likely moving over to catch this, but see what ends up happening. That was a mid lane play, and yeah, that's Woolite able to at least get himself out. So the Destiny no longer a play here for Diplex.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I get the idea too. Woolite doesn't take cleanse. You want to try and punish, but the traps were really good. The chompers coming through, making it so Diplex couldn't actually walk forward and get the stun card off. You don't have RSC yet, Diplex, so you really got to space yourself well for that one. At the moment, Skeens flirting with the idea of a dive. Surely they don't go for it, though.
Surely, or
no.
Are they feeling spicy? Well, Misfits say if you want to, we're going to go and take some room away from the Baron and around this area. Of course, hasn't spawned yet, but at least the riverside, and more or less just kind of guide Shayak to the top here. But very slow across the board, and I imagine we're probably not going to get anything until that dragon does spawn. That's about a minute 30, and I mean, you already hit on it, the fact that there has only been one dragon taken away so far from Vitality. So everything kind of just farming it out, nothing really happening. How's your day going, Pizza?
Oh, it's going great, Austin. Yeah, it's good. For casting in LFL. Yeah. I'm here with my boy, Austin. You should meet him.
I'm glad you're doing well. I'm not doing too bad. You know,
okay.
I can't complain.
I love that.
It's another good day.
Yes.
Just had a banger last game, you know.
Pentakill
came through.
Oh my God, how great was that?
I was feeling pretty good about it. Yeah,
me too,
I mean,
me too.
I haven't had to hit a 10 yet, you know.
No.
Definitely haven't hit a 10 this game, but last game.
Well, I mean, you might though. Who knows?
Maybe.
I mean, Woolite's playing Jinx. You know, you could.
Yeah, that's right. You could have another pop off. Could we get 2 Jinx?
Oh my God, 2 Jinx Pentakills in a day.
I don't know if I can handle that.
Back to back. I don't know if I could either. I'm like.
Tell you what, Vitality couldn't handle that. That'd be 3 losses in a row.
They'd probably, yeah, they would. They would definitely lose, and you wouldn't like that. No, I mean, no matter how juiced Jeskla ends up getting, no matter how much those Mystic shots hurt, you know, the Pentakill Jinx is too strong. Pentakill Jinx skin win. That's the real question.
Yeah. Look at this. The ideas are just flowing right now.
I know, right?
Give us too much time to just talk here on cast, and well, we'll start funneling more money into Riot's pocket. But
yes, sir.
We are now 20 seconds away from our second dragon of the game. Will be a Hextech Drake. As a little damage comes through here, Jack Troll fighting for some vision, but there's the Wombo, and well, that means that Vitality are probably going to give this dragon up.
Oh man, Jack Troll, you could see the way he was moving, like, you're not gonna do it. That rocket belt active was a feint. You're not gonna do it. And then Tink said, yeah, bet. And then of course they used the combo on the support. That's an easy Drake, which means it's gonna be even later Dragon Soul coming through. I'm not even gonna think about Dragon Soul anymore, even though it's Ocean, the most broken soul in the game. It's fine. No one's gonna get it. Everything is fine. We have an even game going, Austin. Misfits only very slightly behind, but the Wombo still cannot be understated. And it's worth noting, a lot of the gold lead seems to be in Shigender's pocket here. If you just see the CS he's gotten for himself, I mean, the turret he just picked up solo on the top side of the map as well. And that does mean, because Shigender more than likely will be playing on the split, especially when you have the TF who wants to play for the side lane. I think in the 5v5 or even in these 4v4 skirmishes, Misfits actually look really good.
Well, Shayak has all of the gold on him. So he is going to have to continue to capitalize in a lot of these fights, and well, so far so good. Tinks has set him up beautifully here in the majority of them, and that is really the reason why we see 4 kills right now in his name. But Diplex going to use some of this side lane pressure. This is what we expect here with the Twisted Fate. I feel like for the most part, you do have an excellent 1-3-1 composition as long as Jeskla and Jacktroll are able to stay safe. But that's kind of, what you're dealing with here is that if you do opt in for this 1-3-1, you have to be worried about this engage. You have to worry about Tinks pulling the trigger, using this ultimate from Vander to be able to get that knock up, come through with another wombo combo. But Shigenda going to start to be able to push up here, moves in with the hook shot, and he has Skeens behind him, so he feels fairly confident.
Yeah, now you got to be more dangerous about, or concerned rather, because showing on the map at the moment as Vitality.Bee's jungler would be very dangerous, is what I want to say, just because of the fact that, well, Baron is on the map, everyone from Misfits have just taken full control over the side of the map, and there it is, Tinks giving Jacktroll a little warning with that dash, being like, remember what happened last time? Be careful.
Yeah, get him a little taste of it here again. Jacktroll going to show his respects, does have the exhaust. Diplex also has an exhaust in his pocket, so this is really going to nullify how potent the combo can be if they pull it off and the exhaust is used at the right time. But Vitality going to get a little damage down here in the mid lane. Tinks is going to be able to clear that out with no problem and with the help of Woolite and the Rockets. So we continue to see the side lane pressure here. Shigenda looking for opportunities to see if he could punish or at the very least take away additional camps, but nothing is up. So everyone now going to start to take some resets.
Yeah, we're getting back to this lull where I'm very tempted to ask you how your day's going again, Austin.
Yeah, not a lot's happening, man. I mean, this has been, like, we talk about controlled gameplay, right? Like, we talk about, we understand, not wanting to throw away the game. You don't need to force anything here, but you have to talk about the fact that, listen, they do have an Ezreal. You're at a 2-item power spike. This is where we expect your composition to really come together. You have the likes of a Karma who's going to be able to assist you, but it really does feel like Vitality are super scared to move in here with the lack of engage that they have, which is only the Destiny gold card, which can be blocked from the wind wall, or Skeen setting up a play when wind becomes lightning. So they don't really have too many opportunities to pull the trigger, and while all this happens, I mean, this Yasuo scaling, this Jinx scaling, so Misfits are completely fine with this, so it's been calm, but I mean, Vitality, I feel like they are more or less on the ones on the timer.
It's the thing too, part of it is because the lack of vision, I think, for the most part here. They really struggled pushing that vision line much further than the river, and they managed to do so at this point because they have a lot of people in Misfits showing on the map. But it's as you say, that fear of making plays is really hurting them just because of the fact that, I mean, it's warranted, but also while just hanging back and waiting for the quote-unquote perfect opportunity. The game is slipping away from you just because of how strong Misfits are getting and how much more powerful they're going to be later on into the game, because let's be real, they're favored in the 5v5. Again, it's all about the plays, it's all about the skirmishes, and the people you can pick off with Diplet. Wait, I looked at you, and then I looked back, and Irrelevant's health was gone. Yeah, what the hell was that?
Yeah, Shigenda is slowly getting work done on the side lane, and that is going to be a tier 2 picked up. All of that going into his pocket. But Tinks moving forward, threatening a bit of a dive, but they won't be able to find the mark. So Misfits going to continue to just bounce around this Baron that, of course, has now been live for the last 3 minutes. And they'll just clear out the vision, but I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on it here. And now that you also have the second item picked up for Woolite, he's going to be a lot more deadly, a second threat now, certainly in the mix. It's not just Shayak. It isn't just all about him having, the Infinity Edge along with the Shield Bow. They will be able to find some value, but TPs are coming in. Maybe this is our moment. Maybe it's not. Everyone backs down.
Yeah, I was really wondering. I don't know if that was Diplex's moment. I'm not going to lie. Unless he could solo kill Vander. I mean, you saw Shayak on the wave. So ultimately, maybe you're just hoping you can get a summoner out or something. But everyone is here. We've committed TPs. To be fair, that bottom wave is pushing very deep in favor of Vitality.Bee, especially because this dragon is spawning up very soon. I think that's what both of these teams actually have their sights set on. But we're at a point now where we got to fight.
Whoa, that's the wombo combo. Hits 3 members with the last breath. And now Vitality a bit scattered as Irrelevance on the side. Shigenda goes in but doesn't find the mark. And the jumper is going to be able to zone off the rest of Vitality, but a lot of autos coming through from Woolite. Has the help of that Jinx, and they are still holding on to the wild growth. So we're able to keep everyone very healthy. A lot of damage is done. Summoners and ultimates thrown out, but no one goes down.
Think about what held it down, though, Austin. Both exhausts on the side of Vitality.Bee used, and that's why they end up walking away from that one. Man, Shigenda has to be really careful. He has the Hextech ultimatum, and you got to be looking for Woolite in this one, and the Ezreal poke from Jeskla might end up taking them low enough that Shigenda gets confident.
There's the play. Shigenda goes in, but he's fairly deep, looking for assistance, gets forced back. The wind wall able to do quite a bit of work there to make sure that no damage is really coming back. Jacktroll has to be careful. Shayak, is he looking for his moment? The shield bow is going to be procced.
Oh,
The last
he's going.
breath, he goes in on the Jeskla, but he's able to kite it out, and the shutdown is there. Jeskla with some beautiful kiting, able to come away with one. The gold card hits the second. That's the Mystic shot, but not enough to find lethal. And now Skeens is going to start up and finish the dragon.
What a big deal. Chayak oversteps. You manage to punish him while your jungler is picking up this dragon, and that is so much map pressure suddenly just alleviated on the side of Vitality.Bee. What does that mean? Now they can start to push waves and not worry, at least until Chayak gets back on the map, because the big thing you're worried about is Tinks going in, bringing in the Yasuo, and that's when the team fight falls apart for you. But now that they don't have to worry about that for some time, you can see it. They're splitting across the map. They're going to have top wave pushing. Bot lane is definitely pushing, and you have Shigenda, who is just stacking up all this gold. Has the stopwatch also, which is really crucial, because in this next fight, which is likely going to be for Baron, Woolite has to be very careful. No summoners, no stopwatch, and that is who Shigenda is going to be looking for.
Jeskla now starting to feel a little bit more confident. Now they're going to start to collapse here on the mid wave. That will be the wave just about deleted with the help of Woolite. Diplex looking around the side will be shrugged off, as we'll see a little cue come out there from Tinks letting him know that if you walk a little too far, I will pull the trigger. But the side lanes had to be dealt with. Shayak now has been able to clear out and push out top lane. He's looking to group back up with his team. And, well, nothing really to fight over. They took that second dragon. We're still very far out from another dragon here, but you can see Vitality very much eyeing up and looking for this mid lane tower.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, because now Chayak is back on the map. Now the combo is here and good to go, but it's worth noting those exhausts are back online, Austin. Very, very quickly, Jack Troll and Diplex will have those key summoners back up, and now they're at a point where they're really far ahead in gold. If they get into this 5v5, if they survive the burst and manage to keep people like Jeskla, like Shigenda healthy, Vitality.Bee could come back on top.
Vitality.
Oh, he's looking?
All right.
RFC?
Everyone absolutely out of there with the help of Shirelia's. Make sure that everyone is safe and sound, but it does mean that Vitality get a tower. You know when the crowd gets hyped when they get a ward? You know
Yeah. Woo!
That was fantastic right there, B-Town. You know, you really nailed the crowd.
Thank you. Yeah, I have. How did you? I'm so glad you noticed. Oh man, we're back to things slowing down a little bit, but actually now, as we're seeing Vitality.Bee start to continue, like finding some of these little angles, finding these plays, I like their chances in this game. And it's not just because they're 5K gold up, Austin. Not just that at all.
Right.
You can tell how Jeskla is really starting to come up there in terms of that itemization and the crown build. That crown coming through is actually a big deal. Oh my god.
You're clearing vision where you shouldn't, but can they actually find a response? Skeens trying to zone out for Jeskla. They have taken down the Karma. No shields are in the mix, but there's the showstopper right into the mix of it. Irrelevant. Massive damage. Gets the Lulu ultimate, but now he's the target. Hextech ultimatum comes down. Shigenda gets exhausted, but he goes back in with the hook shot, and they'll find the kill. Diplex secures it. 1-4-1 support for top lane, and everyone now goes their separate ways.
Yeah, managing to get that trade is a big deal. What does it mean? Vitality.Bee are confident enough to go for the Baron. They're going to two-man it. There's no vision, and I think for the moment, Misfits probably wouldn't have guessed this is what's going on, but the thing is, Tinks is on the way. Oh my god. Oh my god, Austin, they don't know!
No, they don't know! All they have to do is just check a Q over the wall. And there's the back there. Oh, they even see him back. They're like, wait, what? And now they're going to look top because they know Tinks isn't here. Shayak will be able to flash the hook shot. True Shot Barrage hits the mark. And he tries to collapse and get on top of Diplex. But that will not happen. Baron secured. Another kill on the board. Vitality, full control.
Oh man, Misfits, your mental's in the gutter after seeing something like that happen. As soon as you recall, Tinks is thinking, oh my god. And now this gold lead continues to grow here. Even though Woolite gets this turret, ultimately it's paltry compared to what Vitality.Bee have gotten for themselves here. And I think that fight that happened before was so big for them. The fact that they managed to, even though they get caught out, they lose one to that Diana Yasuo combo. The fact that they managed to come back and hold on and take Irrelevant out of the picture so they can start something like the Baron, because Irrelevant is the big HP on this team, if you look at it. He's the meat shield. He's the one taking a lot of this damage. Without him around, people like Woolite are not safe. So they had to walk away, leaving that opening.
It has sped up a little bit here for us in Vitality. They're holding on to a mighty gold lead.
Look at that damage.
Over 5,000. And Jeskla ready to pull the trigger with more Mystic shots, trying to go toe-to-toe there with Woolite. Does have some shielding, so it will be a little tougher to trade with him. But while all this happens, Irrelevant's been able to come down to the bot lane. will secure another tower, but it's in trade of the tier 2. Vitality have 2 members and will start to set up multiple waves pushing at once.
Man, and this is tough. You're going to affect both of these lanes here at mid and top, and even though Misfits have a way to potentially start the fight, oh, hold on, that Tinks might be looking for something.
Shigenda on the side, just constantly keeping these minions buffed up. And while this happens, Vitality able to at least get some pressure going in the mid lane. Still looking at a lot of this poke, Jack Troll and Jeskla trying to weave in some of these Qs. And now Shigenda on the top tower will find quite a bit of damage on it. Showstopper going to be used. He will be able to go in.
He's going in?
And now he's trying to get himself out.
Yes,
Has the GA. Shigenda still going to be fine, but in
There's
the back line, that's the Wombo. They're going to find a massive knock-up, but Vitality able to kite away for the most part here as now they're looking to turn the fight. True shot barrage. It's multiple targets, and Shigenda goes in. Jeskla finds the kill. Shayak is low, and he's left out to dry, but he's able to escape to his fountain. Vitality break open the base, and they take the inhibitor.
Oh, there it is, Austin. We're at the point where the combo doesn't work anymore. The ability to get out of trouble, the flashes, the E if you are Jack Troll, or rather Jeskla on the Ezreal, means that Misfits, they're just out of gas at this point. There isn't much they can do in these skirmishes, and now that the combo isn't there, now the Tinks and Irrelevant are out of the picture. They're TPing, they're looking, they're going to close it out.
Oh, Shigenda gets exhausted, or else that Q might have done it, but it's fine. Skeens takes the kill right into the GA. And now you're going to be circled. You know it's only going to be a matter of time. Shayak will drop. Mid laner gone. 80 carry gone. That's a lot of your damage and Vitality that might look for the end.
They very well could. Vander might have the wild growth, but all 5 members of Vitality.Bee are up. Irrelevant. Can you do something with this ultimate?
They have to clear the wave. Showstopper going in. Irrelevant, eating up a lot of damage. Gets the wild growth. Does some damage back. Will now buy some time as he goes golden for a quick moment. But they've lost 1 tower. They've lost the top laner. They're losing everyone. The Moonfall is not enough. And Misfits will slowly bleed out of this one despite the beautiful lead they built up. 4-0 on Shayak. They couldn't turn it into anything.
And there it is. Vitality.Bee, the team we were worried about making decisions in the later parts of the game, managed to play the last 10-15 minutes beautifully, being able to make sure that you don't take any inopportune fights and get to a point where, one, Jeskla, very strong on the Ezreal, a lot of damage from range, a lot of poke that wasn't able to be answered, and it meant that once the combo came through, and